Look, I'm getting a furrowed brow. Isn't that nice? So much anger in the top 10 worst episodes. I'm getting a furrowed brow of my very own, to call my very own. Should I name my furrowed brow? I'll give it a temporary name for today, but I'll have to think about it. I think Drew Peacock would be the Drew. I was thinking about changing my name to from, what was it again? UG Rection. That's my real name. The name I mentioned before is just stage name. I was thinking of changing my name officially, like legally, to Drew Peacock, but I'm not sure. I have a sort of a lot of problems with interacting in the world, being what I am, just a super freak in terms of my intellectual opinions on everything and outlook and perspectives, and the way I look, this gigantic hulking blob of mess, just a total mess. Actually renaming myself to Drew Peacock would perhaps add to that and make life unsurvivable. Too much. Anyway, so let's get to the list. Oh, wait, no, nuts. God darn it. We got the commercials and stuff. Everybody, calm down. It's going to be okay. All right, so today's edition of Top 10 Worst of List is in part sponsored by Non-Orphan Batman. Coming from the producers of Batman, the DCU. It's Non-Orphan Batman. It's a guy who, grows up a billionaire, and he's real snooty and greedy and spoiled, and his parents survive an assassination attempt during a robbery, and he becomes Non-Orphan Batman. He's got like nothing to do and stuff like that. He's become so obnoxious that it's impossible for him to sort of like really connect on a relationship or building a family of his own because he's so snotty and unbearable to be with. And so he becomes Non-Orphan Batman. Do. I am Non-Orphan Batman. And he goes around and just sort of like, hangs out in bars and stuff, and talks to people, and tries to pick up on girls and stuff. He's Non-Orphan Batman. Also, coming up this Friday on pay-per-view, it's Marvelous Marvin Hagler versus Marvelous Mrs. Maisel in a battle of the Marvelouses. And yes, I know that Marvelous Marvin Hagler is dead and Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is Lois Lane. But it sounds like it would be fun if they could do one. Huh? And then finally, from the producers of the Three Stooges, now comes 350 Million Stooges, showing clips of various different encounters by various Americans, of which there are 350 million, in contexts where they're overtly abusive to each other instead of just talking about it online. There's 350 million Stooges. Buy some today. Buy one, get one free. All right, so now we can finally go to the freaking... I have to introduce my co-host for today's episode. Please welcome cheapest / free sound effects board. Warning, danger, Will Robinson. All right, so everything's in place. Leave us to embark upon today's list. Top 10 worst We Are the World participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander. Number 10, Lionel Richie. I think it'd be fun to watch Lionel Richie on a belt sander, kind of like watching his head bump up and dung, as the belt sander tries to get traction and get a real grip so they can start to dig in on the flesh. Up until, this point, he's great, but today his face looks like a bag of pus that's about to explode. What's that face, Lionel Richie? Was there something in Lionel Richie's original face that might have offended people, that we had to endure this puffy. Was there a disease? I mean, I apologize if there's a disease that we don't know about other than egomania, which I would not apologize for, quite frankly. I don't feel like people should, at this point, in this juncture, should be so concerned with looks. And the more we get people, paraded in front of us on an ongoing basis with all this plastic surgery, that it's now like where plastic surgery is like great. Anyway, how much did the Plastic Surgery Council or Association pay to get all of these plastic surgery jobs so much FaceTime on media? Because now it's like everybody's like, oh, plastic surgery's good, let's get some plastic surgery. And it doesn't care like you look like a jelly donut that's been overfilled and about to explode all over the screen. But enough already, Jesus Christ. Just retire. Lionel Richie's got plenty of money. You had to go and get that face, that jelly donut, the thing like you went twice, 3 times delayed. That's good enough. Just go off to some life, get a job at Denny's. It's a short order cook or something. TGI Fridays. Now featuring appetizers made by Lionel Richie. Number 9, the top 10 worst We Are the World participants not to get muted. I don't know if everybody knows what We Are the World, but, and also I would like to offer, if those of you who feel like me suggesting that some of these people, for no other reason than they've become total out of control egomaniacs with no genuine kindness or human components within their nature, get mutilated in public on a belt sander is too much. I also would put each one of these people on the list into one of those NASA centrifuge machines that whip you around, and they just keep jacking it up like they do in that James Bond movie. There's a Moonraker or something like that. But just never have it stop and just till their head pops off or explodes. So, doesn't necessarily, and as we go through the list, think in your own mind which you'd prefer. Belt sander or head spins off their neck in a NASA centrifuge. And you all know who We Are the World was. So, We Are the World, blah, 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 dude, ended all starvation in the world. Out of the kindness of the heart of a Bruce Springsteen. And speaking of which, number 9, Bruce Springsteen. Unclench your damn teeth, you freaking hipster. He's not doing things to help people. He's not doing things because he thinks it's right. He's doing things to cash in. Streets of Minnesota, what is it? He's cashing in, just like Elton John cashed in on Candle in the Wind. Candle in the Wind. Oh, wow. An extra bazillion dollars in my bank account just showed up with a description in the memo saying, what's that? She had that, what that special nickname of hers that she had? Purple Heart? God damn it. Candle in the Wind, Princess Diana version. In the memo section. Can we get somebody to have a talk with Bruce Springsteen and have him, climb down off of his ivory tower and just kind of just sit around and just do some rocket tunes, man. And no more 3.5 hour shows. Nobody needs that anymore. It's not a sign of your authenticity or your ability to be able to, perform at levels that most people fear to tread. No, Bruce Springsteen, we've had enough. We got stuff to do. An hour and a half tops, man. And that includes the encore. We don't need three. Nobody on earth needs 3.5 hours of contiguous Springsteen. Heaven forfend. I feel sorry for people who get exposed to that. And they're probably sitting halfway through and they're probably going, okay, should I leave? And he's going through like song after song about Cadillacs and cars and driving on the road and everything like that, and how, like emptiness and whatever. That all sucks. You got 2 or 3 good songs that you've ever written that are really, really good. Okay. Then you got, the stuff off the first 2 albums. It's got some interesting stuff. When you were like directly stealing from Van Morrison, early Van Morrison. That's good stuff. But it's like 40 years worth of endless clenched teeth, virtue signaling and driving on the street with what do you call it? Like, combustion engines. I just like anytime you're going to do a song going forward about a car or on the road or some combination of the two, just talk about combustion engines and or, put on the album how much money you're getting from the automobile industry to keep doing songs about them. How much, for example, did you get from Cadillac or General Motors off of the 2 songs that you've got about Cadillacs on the river? Cadillac Ranch and Pink Cadillac. It's like, forget about it, man. That's not the American identity, is being on the road and fixing your car and then maybe snuggling with your honey. What is this, the 1950s? And that's why why we know about Bruce Springsteen, is because all of his songs are about this homogenized idea of the 50s view of the United States. We're cruising for broads down Ventura Boulevard in the San Fernando Valley. And you got a car. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jump in my car. Oh, yeah. The car is nice. And it starts on the first try. Oh. Make it stop. Personally, if you want to get into Bruce Springsteen and stuff like that, that's fine, whatever. That's all a done deal. Just, ugh. At least walk out on the concert after an hour or two. And that third hour, wouldn't that be great if you're just sitting there and like the place is empty. And he's like, well, do you keep doing the set? I got another 3 hours worth of set to play. Dancing in the dark. I haven't done my dancing in the dark encore. It's like Red Skull. Bruce Springsteen reminds me of Red Skull. Without, obviously, like, but Red Skull's just saying in there. I will destroy the Avengers. Where's my Cadillac? All right, number 8. Top 10 worst We Are the World participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander and or have their heads whipped off their necks on a NASA centrifuge machine gone wild. It's Billy Joel. Billy Joel, of course. How have I not spent more time disparaging the white milk toast, overrated tunesmith of the ordinary? It's Billy Joel. Let's see how I can simplify everything in life and turn it into just sort of like trite and disposable garbage. All right, well, I'll go through the newspaper. I'll write down everything I see, and we'll call, we didn't start the fire. It'll just be like me reading the newspaper. Hey, let me do my version of... No. Hang on. this will be worth the wait. Then probably not. There we go. This is my version of Billy Joel doing We Didn't Start the Fire. Fireworks burst above, marble bomb and mental honoring our America's forefathers are roughly 40 minutes. As the sun drenched and rain soaked, Americans watched the past midnight display sparkle above the National Mall, and we didn't start the fire. We just wanted to exploit it and make some profit off it. We didn't start the fire. We just wanted to exploit you and make some profit off your suffering. Thank you. Thank you very kindly. Don't forget to try the veal. Oh, there we go. We're in part sponsored by, I think I've done this probably one too much. A womb-raised veal, where when the veal calf is born, it goes down a sluice directly into a frying pan, and we fry it up and bring it to the table. It's womb-raised veal. Oh, you thought that, putting a baby calf into an enclosed pen where it can't move and let it sit there and get fat for however long it takes, and serving it up was tender. Wait till you try womb-raised veal, where the veal is encased in the womb. Oh, that brings me maybe a double-wombed veal, perhaps. Like the womb is encased, so you can somehow impregnate the veal calf so that the veal calf has a veal inside it for a double-wombed veal. Even more tender. It's almost liquefied. It's practically like drinking a bowl of broth. That's how tender the veal is. Oh, no. Yes, indeed. Yeah. All right, so sorry about that. It's not sorry. Number 7 of the top 10 worst We Are the World participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander. It's Steve Perry. Okay? Hey, don't stop believing. He does that Christina Aguilera. Don't stop. Oh, yeah. Other guy's got to have like an unseen implant on his balls that they can, off stage, they kind of have a voltage alternator on so they can tweak his nuts when it's time to hit the high notes. Steve Perry, the ultimate suburbanite poser. And, it's just, I suppose if you want your life to be vanilla so that you'll never, look outside of your own personalized, cloistered worldview and just live your life as oblivious of the world around you. Like you're the star of your own movie, but the movie is directed by Michael Bay, then go ahead and, grab all the Steve Perry you can. And you're like, oh my God, you should have a best of journey called the Tweak Your Nipples collection. Because it's like a little passing sort of titillation that zeroes you in on having the most whitewashed perspective of life seeming as if it's laudable or normalized. It normalizes the whitewashing, as that's what it does. That's why the belt sander. But really, these guys are just role players. This is all social Darwinism. All these people get the roles of being allowed into the mainstream level of distribution by the gatekeepers because of how milquetoast they are, because they never prance outside the lines, because they never look outside their own perspectives to try to imagine a world that has, infinitely more nuanced emotions, feelings, and impact on the equity in people's lives than they are allowed to express. Don't stop believing. Believing in what? Hang on to the feeling. Listen to some of these lyrics. It's just like all about, like, I'm going to party. I'm going to do these things. Everything like that. Shut up. Who cares about what you're going to do with your own time? You're going to go to the party. You're going to turn it loose. Something. Who cares? It's all so ephemeral and surface-minded. Here's the thing. I'm going to go to a party and you're going to get kicked in the nuts until you bleed out your ass. And then we'll finish the job with somebody who's got a size 16 shoe wearing golf cleats. Number 6. Do you think I have any... Should I really let loose? How do I really feel? Kim Carnes. Number 6. What a talentless snooze fest. Can you imagine all these gigantic stars? Admittedly, these stars are on this thing are gigantic. I mean, you get Kenny frickin' Rogers, goddammit. The owner of Kenny Rogers Grillers or whatever was that place? Roasters. The owner of frickin' Kenny Rogers Roasters is in the room, and you're bringing in a Kim Carnes? There's one hit of the just like completely forgettable novelty song, really. Betty Davis, yeah, Betty Davis. She basically stole Rod Stewart's voice to do it. If Rod Stewart would have sung Betty Davis Eyes, you'd never ever have heard of Kim Carnes, and you never would have noticed the difference. I'm serious. Let's, somebody can post in the comments, go ahead and do a mashup of Rod Stewart back to back with Kim Carnes, and you tell me it's the same goddamn person. Have you ever seen Rod Stewart in the room with Kim Carnes? I wonder if this whole thing wasn't a setup. They made an artificial and made up personality called Kim Carnes as who's really is behind it doing the vocal in the studio is really Rod Stewart. But the We Are the World recording session was primarily focused on American singers. It was meant to be Harry Belafonte and that guy Ken Kesey or whatever that guy's name was. Got together and let's do an American version of Do They Know It's Christmas? And that's how it all kind of got started. And so there weren't they didn't ask a lot of British guys. The one British guy I think that they got, I won't give it away, was coming up on this list. It's a teaser. That's right. This whole time. As leading down the road, the whole Rod Stewart, Kim Carnes thing was just a ploy. And it worked like a charm. You thought I was really serious about Kim Carnes and Rod Stewart being the same person? I was actually serious about them being the same. I do think that they are the same person. Have you ever seen Kim Carnes in anything else? Ever? That's right. Another blockbuster headline finding exclusively from Top 10 Worst Devs. Your resource for an undying, all-seeing eye. Probing. And then when we're done probing, we probe again. Deeper. With more thrust and pounds per square inch pressure. So Kim Carnes now, she doesn't really exist. It's Rod Stewart. Number 6, Rod Stewart. Number 5, Kenny Loggins. Hearing him state the words, I'm all right, is actually bad news. So what if Kenny Loggins is all right? Thank God. Oh, did you hear? Kenny Loggins, he's all right. Really? That's great news. Who the hell is Kenny Loggins? Freaks. Kenny Loggins. All the peeps. It's Messina the whole time. That was the talent in the Loggins Messina thing. Messina was the guy behind Buffalo Springfields. Kenny Loggins. Number 4 of the top 10. And you see, Kenny Loggins is another one who's got himself plastic surgery into a fine, glossy sheen. And you see him, and his skin is so tight that it almost glows on its own power like a photoelectric cell. Like a firefly. Like he's got 1,000 fireflies implanted under his cheekbones. Kenny Loggins. You worthless piece of trash. Well, he's not totally worthless. I mean, some of this stuff is, mostly worthless. Not totally. Top 10 worst the word participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander. Number 4, Cyndi Lauper. Now, look, Cyndi Lauper's got like a transcendent voice. Powerful, expressive, nuanced, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It's not our fault that the music industry has been so unfair about recruiting and promoting women in rock music, but that's no reason to subject us to this annoying, obnoxious jerk-off. Because it's ever since she transmuted into a wrestling career, it's been like, another obnoxious white person that's been proselytized to us and rammed down our throats and singing stuff. Like she does have those 3 songs that were great. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, True Colors, and I don't know, Money Changes Everything. There's a few songs in there, but does that mean that we have to, for eons and eons, be force-fed a steady diet of Cyndi Lauper? I mean, she'd be great if she was doing somebody else's material, I think, if it was good material. She was singing on, like, Bad Out of Hell, and they replaced her with Meatloaf on that album. It'd be freaking great. Brilliant. I'm praying for the end of time so I can end my time with Cyndi Lauper. No, not really. But it's just a joke. It's just meant to be a contrivance for me to be able to have these little sidebars where I just, bash on the industry itself. Because Cyndi Lauper's, there's a place for Cyndi Lauper in the, sort of musical universe. If you only had somebody else that was, actually authentic and genuine and really like Tina Turner, if Tina Turner was doing, songs that had some balls, it's Tina Turner, if you watch her doing River Deep Mountain High, there's a clip I saw on YouTube a long time ago in the purple dress, and she's just belting it out, River Deep Mountain High, with this rockin' version of it that blows the studio version out of the water like into a alternate galaxy. If she kept doing like stuff like that was like sort of honest and authentic and just carried that through and could have made that, popularized that, she's the greatest performer of all time. But doing that stuff really wasn't allowed to gain any traction. Because if all the radio stations are all playing this, sort of where the emotions and the intellectual integrity are all dialed down to zero, and all that they'll allow to play, and MTV and everything, all that they will allow to play is What's Love Got to Do with It, where she's just kind of going through the motions of having some throwaway tune that has no applicability to anything in the real world outside of, selfish oriented physical transient experiences. Then how do we live our lives because like not everybody's going to have that big fake hair pompadour and be able to walk around with the fake giant jugs that they gave her to prance around and make it seem like what's love got to do with it is a better thing to distribute to a mass audience than her live performance of River Deep Mountain High, which is just this emotional powerhouse. We need more emotional powerhouses than we need Tina Turner with the fake boobs walking around, with the fake giant hairdo, singing about, being even dismissive of being of elements of love and affection. Oh my God! Why can't we get some of that? What did we do that was so wrong that we were consigned to this relentless hell? Oftentimes led by what's that guy's name? Robert Pittman. Robert Pittman. What did we deserve to what did we do to deserve Robert Pittman to come into our lives, who was the head of MTV and all that shiznaz, when they homogenized and whitewashed generation after generation with MTV, and then he gets transferred over to Clear Channel, where he invents Rush Limbaugh and brainwashes half the goddamn country to be interminably racist, bigoted, and dismissive of anything that has any intellectual capacity. What did we do to deserve that? The ultimate Goebbels guy. He's gotten the Goebbels Award for a despicable and destructive propaganda for the last 40 years, every year. Number one. He's makes Joseph Goebbels look like a panty waist in the world of propaganda. Oh, no, I'm serious. Joseph Goebbels isn't fit to kiss the hem of Robert Pittman's garment. All right, number 3 is top 10 worst We Are the World participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander is Bob Geldof. Okay, like Bob Geldof, okay, you're trying things. At least you're out there trying to make life a little less harsh and prevent some deaths, and you've done some, great things. But I don't remember, Bob Geldof, you inviting any Americans to sing on that crappy Do You Know It's Christmas Time. Now, did you? Did you? No. You had to be all British. Oh, I'm sorry. Elvis Costello's British. I'm sorry, Bob Mould. Husker Du. I'm sorry, Husker Du. But no Americans are allowed on my epic Christmas jingle. So Bob Geldof gets the belt sander. I'm not even going to give you the option of the NASA head whipping off. I want to see Bob Geldof really pay for it. You deny Americans access to one of the most effective efforts of charity that the world has ever seen? Wait till you taste the wrath of America, Bob Geldof. You can't get away with dissing America. Not on the watch of Top 10 40. Top 10 40? Top 10 worst of lists? Oh, Bob Geldof. You're coming for you. All right, number 2 of the top 10 participants in We Are the World to not get mutilated on a belt sander. Members of the band The News, as in Huey Lewis and the News. Whose knob did these guys polish to get on this video? I mean, one wonders. I mean, Huey, it was big at the time. He did a lot of, one number after another of It's Hip to Be Square. Oh. God damn, you wonder how anybody survived in this malaise of, white bread and sanitization. How anybody could have any independent thoughts whatsoever. No wonder the best that people could do to protest the pulling back of the curtain of the crypto-fascist shadow government in today's day and age is to march on a Sunday afternoon with a cutesy sign. Look at me and my signs, and then post it on the gram. Look at me, I've got. It's not really protesting. It's them being, just another scene in their own movie of which they are the star. And I'm not blaming all that on Huey Lewis, but Hip to Be Square really tells it like it is. I mean, you got people like that, Hip to Be Square. Why not? I just don't know. I can't take it anymore. I'm just gonna finish this whole goddamn thing. And those of you who've ever watched top 10 worst of list, American Top 10 40. I am Casey Kasem. Today's dedication goes out to a dead dog. Why is everybody doing all the dead dog? Because I have to. What am I doing here? The number one of the top 10 worst We Are the World participants to not get mutilated on a belt sander is, of course, Paul Simon. Oh, Paul. Was he even there? Like, now that I think about it, did he do... Wait, well, let me sing a second. I'm never really sure. Anytime that Paul Simon is involved with something, he's the worst of it. You know it. Hey, come on, what are you trying to do? Uh-oh. Oh, enough of you. I don't care what you think. Paul Simon, goddammit. The ultimate milquetoast. Every lyric is a word salad. Everything is like everybody thinks that he's so great. He's not that great. He has done some great things here and there, but he's also done things that are so abysmal, crossing the picket line in South Africa, for example, to poach all the musicians for his beloved Graceland album, which he kicks to the curb the minute the tour is over, and goes and immediately finds another group of people in South America to co-opt their music. Cross the goddamn picket line of South Africa during the boycott. It's unforgivable. And people have forgotten. Of course, it's gotten quashed by publicity agents, and on and on and on. All these rich people get to... But, also, since those two albums, what has he done that's even listenable? And if you go through his catalog, there's an awful lot that's unlistenable. And there's an awful lot that's, betrays a very sick mind. And there was some weird case where him and his Edie Brickell, who's his wife, got into some kind of fist fight or something. And it just has something going on. 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover is about gaslighting people and ghosting your lover. And in one case, you just drop off the key, so you're living with someone, and you just drop off the key and take off without another word. Think about what he's saying. It's not cute. It's not just some cutesy guy doing something with no negative ramifications from it. He is conditioning people to think it's okay to just drop the key off and put it in the mail or whatever and just leave without any more contact. And it becomes a gigantic number one hit. And so all these people are being influenced by this calloused, detached, abusive jerk-off. Paul Simon walking around. Oh, wait, no. Hey, I'm Paul Simon. Could you lower the game a little bit? Hi, I'm Paul Simon. Up here's Paul Simon, and take your damn word salad with you. All right, so that's all the time we got for top 10 worst does. Top 10. Wait, so is it Paul Simon? Hang on a second. I better make sure that Paul Simon was on We Are the World. We Are the World. Oopsies. Paul Sion? Oops. Was Paul Simon in We Are the World? We are the world. We are the children. Was John Denver alive when they did We Are the World? Wow, look at that. They made fun of John Denver during the recording of We Are the World. This is a whole new digression. Wow. All right, so it looks like Paul Simon is the one who actually took a jab at John Denver. Wow. Oh my God. What did I got to hang on? Everybody, this is new breaking news. Anti-Paul Simon. Hot soup coming through. Hot soup. Paul Simon. Hang on a second. Huey Lewis part was meant for Prince. Prince wouldn't do it because Bob Geldof made fun of him like he's some kind of freak. Something like that. I can't remember exactly, but I think that's what the deal was. And then Sheila E., Steve Wonders, and blah, blah. Diana Ross is all caught up in her feels. Steve Wonders was Paul Simon took a humorous jab at Dan Denver. I gotta read this. This is good stuff. Legendary singer-songwriter Jerkoff tried to lift the spirits of the tired and hungry supergroup as the session carried on to the early morning. Kenny Loggins, a legendary victim of massive amounts of plastic surgery and a singer-songwriter himself, recalls that Paul Simon was making a funny joke at the expense of John Denver, saying, wow, if a bomb lands on this place, John Denver's back on top. Wow. John Denver is the man, okay? John Denver invented all this stuff of, like, environmentally conscious music and whatnot. And yeah, he was like a milquetoast-ish sort of personality, but the guy was talented as hell. By the time I get to Phoenix and all kinds of great music that he wrote, Country Roads, and had a wide, broad-based appeal to a lot of different people. John Denver's the man. Paul Simon dissing John Denver. Oh my God. I can't take it anymore. I gotta end the episode. Paul Simon, you rat fake. God damn. Simon, I got your number, Paul Simon. One of these days. One of these days. All right, so that's the time. Like I said, tune again next time for Top 10 Worst Devs when we lambaste more of your favorite sacred cows with the topic of Top 10 Worst Times to get a fatwa issued against you. This is Top 10 Worst Dev lists. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of it. It's a pleasure to be here. Oh, wait. One more